This just in. It's still cold, Manitoba. But my forecast today shows that there is a thaw coming. We still have to wait, though. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Justin with the Weather Center of Manitoba. Hopefully, you enjoyed that intro. um, Welcome to our YouTube channel once again, and we're here with another weather update for you on February 12th, 2025. Wanted to start off the video giving a shout out to Brookdale School. Here's a picture of myself with the students at Brookdale School earlier in the day. I went up there and read the book Snowflake Bentley, and we looked through some of my snowflake photos and talked about all things weather. So thanks again for having me out. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys and gals learned a thing or two about the weather along the way. Okay, so we're going to look at our satellite imagery here very briefly, and we see a lot of clear sky here across the eastern prairies. The only clouds that are really visible are to the west, northwest of Manitoba, west-northwest of southern Manitoba, across parts of central, and also moving into western Saskatchewan this afternoon. But Manitoba is clear and cold, and that looks to keep on being the story for the next at least 24 hours here, as we have once again high pressure sitting over the area and moving slowly east-southeast toward Manitoba. This morning was cold. I woke up in Brandon. The wind chill was minus 47. The actual 2-meter temperature was minus 37. It was a bone-chilling morning, and it's still very cold out there at the time of recording this at 2:25 in the afternoon. And tomorrow morning is going to be much of the same, with high pressure remaining over the southern part of Manitoba. We're going to see similar lows across southern Manitoba between minus 34 and minus 38. And wind chill values will once again be around that minus 45 to minus 50 mark tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, across southern Manitoba. So really that's what I have to tell you at this moment. And we can quickly look at our temperature expectations going into tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, on the high rapid refresh model here. And when we see these green colors, now this is early tomorrow morning. This is early tomorrow morning at about 5 a.m. You can see all this green color here from southeastern Saskatchewan through to southwestern Manitoba and covering much of southern Manitoba for Thursday morning. Lots of this green color, and that is temperatures minus 30 Fahrenheit or colder. And those cold temperatures just continue to build in as we get towards sunrise tomorrow. 7 to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, we see Brandon minus 31 Fahrenheit. Really cold, bone-chilling temperatures all the way north through the parkland and then west toward the border. And then also the Interlake region and areas towards southeastern Manitoba, fairly cold as well. Southeastern Manitoba won't be as cold as areas out to the west, but it'll still be fairly cold. And then the good news is once we get into Thursday afternoon, our temperatures warm up dramatically as we see our winds change to be out of south motion by Thursday afternoon, bringing in some milder air to the extreme southern parts of the province, including southeastern Manitoba, the Red River Valley, and even the Brandon Westman area will be a lot milder tomorrow by the mid to late afternoon hours of Thursday. In the meantime, we still have, once again, same old story from as we have had the last few days. Temperatures extremely cold across southern Manitoba, so our weather warnings continue to show us that the extreme cold warnings are still in place across southern Manitoba and generally the southern part of the eastern prairies. Keep that in mind if you're going to be spending any time outside over the next few days. And so this is another map that I want to show you once again from Ben Knoll Weather here on the platform X. And this is showing the lowest temperature from February 12th to February 27th across parts of Canada and the US. And it's showing that the polar vortex is gripping the continent. And we can see that basically the entire United States is going to be experiencing temperatures at least at or colder than the freezing mark, than 0 Celsius, between February 12th and February 27th. So we may feel like we are all alone up here in Manitoba in terms of the extreme cold, but we're also sharing the wealth to our neighbors to the south and also our neighbors to the east across much of eastern Canada. So I don't know if that makes you feel any better about the cold, but we do have that to show you. As I was saying at the start of this video, we are going to be thawing out, and it's still going to take a while, and about another week to week and a half. But this is our European model showing us our jet stream. And this is going to be key. As we go through time, you'll see that our jet stream turns to more of a west to east motion through Western Canada. And that's going to be bringing us nice warm air across the Rocky Mountains and into Manitoba. We see that kind of starting to want to happen by this weekend, but we are still locked into quite a cold push of Arctic air here. You can see that our jet streak is going from the Arctic down right through Manitoba. So this weekend, still bitterly cold. We continue to go through time. Now we're getting into Monday, Tuesday. We start seeing this jet stream flatten out slightly. And pay attention here off the west coast of Canada. You can see that we have this very strong jet streak starting to want to become more westerly to easterly across the ocean here. And what that's going to do is bring us right there. Bam! We see the first push of warm air. We see the second push here by February 23rd. And then we see a stronger, more prominent push and jet stream by February 25th. And what this is doing is it's bringing that warm air from the Pacific Ocean to BC and then across the Rockies and into the prairies and into Manitoba by the end of February. So that is when we are going to start thawing out here in Manitoba. Going to be starting around February 20th, and definitely it's going to become more prominent by the 25th of the month as this jet stream intensifies and is able to push that warm, moist air across the Rocky Mountains and into the eastern prairies. Okay, now we're going to look at the European model, and it's going to reflect back to us what the jet stream is showing us in terms of our pattern changing by the end of February. So currently, you can see across central Canada and the eastern prairies, we are still locked in tightly on this cold Arctic air. You see those cold colors, the purples and the blue colors there. Yeah, by this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, that's going to be the height of our cold air here in Manitoba. As we go into next week, we can see that generally the cold sticks around into the early part of next week. Monday, Tuesday, the cold is still there on Tuesday, also Wednesday, but then once we get to Thursday and Friday of next week, we see that cold breaking up and starting to push southward and dissipate over the area. So this is great news. Here is Friday afternoon. I want you to pay attention here to BC and Alberta, and we see this warm surge of air now entering Western Canada. When will it reach Manitoba? Well, it's going to take a couple days to get to Manitoba, but I think by Sunday of next weekend, we can see that the warm air has finally reached Manitoba. There it is. We have those warmer colors over much of the province, specifically southern and central Manitoba. And we're seeing temperatures maybe next Sunday as warm as +5 across parts of southern Manitoba. So that is a very warm push of Pacific air coming across the Rocky Mountains and inundating the eastern prairies by next weekend. That is when we're going to start to thaw out, and we could thaw out pretty quickly as we're toward the end of the month here in February. The sun is getting higher in the sky and stronger by the day, and +5 is going to feel like summer compared to the temperatures we've been having to deal with here in Manitoba over the last week or two. And that warm air looks to stick around for a good part of the last week of February. Look at some of this heat. That is some impressive heat here across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and western parts of Manitoba, and also areas stateside. It's going to be nice and warm once we get toward the end of the month. In the meantime, we're locked in this cold pattern, but don't worry. We know that eventually it's going to warm up, and I've just shown you, looking at some of this model data, that it is going to warm up. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We got this, Manitoba. Just another week or two, and we're going to be golden. Thank you if you've watched this entire video. Once again, like the video, comment, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.